guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you guys a little tour around my living room for a couple of reasons really. I've had a few comments saying like, wow, you're such an uber minimalist, I don't know how you do it, you have so few things, and I kind of wanted to show you that actually I don't have that fewer things. I'm also on a massive journey that I'm really trying to downsize and declutter, and I have a lot of things as well. And also, secondly, minimalism doesn't mean that you have few things. It can mean that for some people, and few things just means different things to different people as well. So sometimes people will just have everything they own in a backpack and be like, oh, I still have too many things. I have 2 sets of chopsticks and I only need one. I'm such a hoarder. And then some people will look at my room and say, wow, that you don't have that many things, you're such a minimalist. And some people will be like, how are you calling yourself a minimalist? You have so many things, you have lots of clutter. So I wanted to just show you, I call myself a minimalist because I believe that that means that everything that you own you get value from, and you don't have any excess things. I think that's the key to minimalism, is that nothing that you have is excess, that's something that you don't need or you don't get value from. Obviously I'm still on a journey and I would still like to downsize and declutter and get rid of some things. As my journey goes on, I find it more and more difficult, even though it's more and more rewarding and more fun. I find that it's quite difficult because each time I downsize, the things that are left are obviously the things that I love and have some kind of attachment to. So I'm still on that journey, still trying to downsize and declutter, but I wanted to show you what my living room currently looks like. One quick warning, you will notice that I have a lot of one particular things. Some people might call it an obsession, some people might call it hoarding even, but I get a lot of value from these things, and that is living plants. I absolutely love them, especially greenery. I definitely prefer fauna over flora, and so I have a lot of that in my space. It gives me motivation, it boosts my creativity, it gives me lots of fresh oxygen, it makes me smile, it makes me feel happy, and I absolutely love it, and I have quite a collection going on. So I definitely believe that you can be minimalist and also have a collection, as long as that collection adds value to your life and sparks joy in your life. So my collection is my fauna. That is a whole nother video. I am planning on doing a plant collection. Let me know in the comments if that is something you'd like to see, because I do have quite a few, and it might be interesting. Maybe there are some other plant lovers out there, so let me know if you'd like to see that, and I will get that out to you soon. But without further ado, here is my living room. Let's go. So just as a quick overview, this is the doorway to the living room, and this is what it looks like as you come in. To the left here I have my bedroom, and to the right here is a coat closet. This is one of my favourite quotes that I just penned up and taped to the door. So as we walk into the living room, immediately to the right here is this big old lamp. This was something that was gifted to my partner as a leaving present for when he left a certain job. And I don't mind, because I really love it. I think it's really nice, and it definitely adds a really lovely warm glow to the room in the evening. I love that the this bit tessellates, and so you can aim it to wherever you want. And then just to the right here on the main light switch, which is a dimmer switch, which I really appreciate also. Hanging from there I have this glass blown angel, which a friend of mine, her sister, made for me in Sweden and sent over as a Christmas present, and I just think it's beautiful. I love it. And then next to the lamp we have the sofa. This sofa is just, it's one of the cheapest ones from IKEA, but I really love it. I love the colour, I love that it's got wooden feet, and also all the pillows are from IKEA. I'm not sure where this blanket is from. I'm trying to remember, I don't know where that's from, but it's just a little chevron blanket. And it fits the two of us very nicely. And then above the sofa we have this shelf where we keep the projector, which is that black thing right there, and that's how we watch television if we're not watching on our laptops. On the weekend we tend to watch it on the projector. And then I have my surround sound speakers, which are these two little ones at the end and this big one in the middle, which is great because these little silver knobs here, that changes the treble and the bass, and so I can optimize the sound to anything we're watching, which is fantastic. These speakers I actually found, someone was throwing them out, and they work perfectly, so that was a really, really great find. And then to add a little bit more life and colour, instead of just a big shelf of ugly electronics, I put some plants up here. On the right here I have a couple of plants, and then I also have this tin toy that my mum got for me. These swings are actually my favourite, my favourite ride from Fairgrounds, and I absolutely love them. And if you press this button, they kind of spin around, which is so sweet. And every time I look at it, I think of my mum. And then on the other side, I have a couple of aloe veras and this ivy, which I'm trying to revive. It kind of was a bit worse for wear after Christmas, and so I'm trying to revive it, and these little leaves are popping up, so I think it's doing okay. I think it's going to come back to full health, which is really great, and it's just dangling down here over the sofa, which I think is really pretty. And then to the left of the sofa we have it's what used to be a bedside table is now the sofa side table. This is where we keep this gorgeous rubber plant that I just love. I love the dark greenery. And then below, this is where we have some tissues, some coasters that I made from just some marble tiles that were just for free, like they're tester tiles. And then I just put some of these cork things on the bottom so they don't scratch the table. I have a little salt lamp that you put a candle in here. And then some electronics to charge my phone, Kindle, and then to listen to the speakers through Bluetooth. And in this drawer we have a couple of bits, because the kitchen is 2 floors down, because we have a shared house, we often will eat dinner up here. So in this drawer we have, some napkins, some bamboo placemats. This is what keeps the teapot hot. We put a little light in here, put the teapot on, and it keeps the tea warm for a few hours. Some remotes for the projector, and then some treats in here, and like a cat brush, a nail file, and some hand lotion, and this is some cleaning products. This is from IKEA, and then I just changed out the knob with this like vintage knob just to add a little bit more character. But I actually really love this naked wood. This is one of the cheaper ones from IKEA, but I actually really like it. It's one of my favorite ones. It's a really good handy size, and I just love this bare wood look. And then to the left of that we have this bin where mainly I just put cat food pouches. And then we have the cat stand. So I put a little pillow up there, which my mom gave me a few years ago when I moved out for the first time. And then I also nailed some old pillowcases to the bottom of this stand because my cat likes to hide in small little cocoons. So I put that there. She doesn't go in it as much. Sometimes she'll go in it, but it's like a little nest for her anyway. And then moving around, this is where the cat food is. She's got her dry food, her wet food, and a cup because this is where her water used to be in this, but she never likes drinking out of things intended for cats. She used to always steal my glass of water, which was in here, and so I've just given it to her. She much prefers drinking out of a cup. And then I've given her like a little terrarium garden over here that I made, and behind it is some, I think it's barley grass, and it's some kind of grass that cats like to chew on that she'll nibble on sometimes as well. So next to where the cat food is, I have this trunk that I found on the street years and years ago. I was a teenager when I found it, and I took it home because I fell in love with it. It's gorgeous, it's perfect condition. It's got even a little tray inside, so it's really handy for storing things. That's where I keep spare bedding for guests and pillows and blankets and those sorts of things. And then on top I have my lovely spider plant, which I've had forever. She was one of these babies when I first plucked her, and then I planted her in the soil, and she's grown into this enormous monster that just keeps on giving off children that I have to repot and plant in the garden and around the house, and I've given as gifts to people. She does really well, really easy to take care of. And then recently I bought this palm plant, who is just lovely. She adds such an extra like a jungle feel to this room that I just love. She's really tall, really elegant, and I just love her. And my cat loves to sit in between these plants and hide under the spider plant. And I feel like this green is just a really great way to decorate this wall behind without having to nail or stick anything to the wall. And then above there's a vent in the wall that we thought was really ugly, so I've just added this old vintage mirror that I got from a charity shop years and years ago that's kind of like a fisheye mirror. There I am. Hello. So that is how we decorated the wall without actually putting anything on the wall, sticking anything or nailing anything. And you'll see that on either side I have planted some window boxes as well. Our neighbours out there are actually very close to us. It's a very small like alleyway street, and so this adds a little bit of extra privacy. When we're sat here, people can't see us from the other side. And it also just looks beautiful and is more greenery without taking up any space. And the plants that I've put in there, some of them you can actually eat or drink as tea. And just beside the trunk I have this humongous watering can. Because the kitchen is 2 floors down, it took ages to like fill up this tiny little bottle to water all of the plants that I have. So I got this ginormous watering can that I think it's 5 gallons. I'll double check and see if I can link it below for you guys if you're interested. But that will water all of my plants enough for a week, which is great. On the windowsill here I have these like block letters that I think I was gifted at some point at different occasions, and that is just to keep this window open because it's old, and sometimes depending on the weather, if the wood expands or it warps, sometimes it will keep itself open, but most of the time it doesn't. So I'll just kind of put these blocks under the window to keep it up. And on the other side I have this bamboo plant, which used to be a really big, tall, luscious bamboo plant, but it sadly died. And I cut the top off because it looked like this bit was still living, and I put it in some water in this pot that I made in a pottery class, and it seems to be doing okay. So I don't know, I'm just kind of letting it do its thing at the moment, and hopefully she'll revive herself. And then below this window I have this rattan poof, which I also found on the street. A shop was throwing it away. I don't know whether they just didn't sell it or if it's part of the decoration that they didn't want anymore. But it's really great. My cat loves to sit on it and scratch it, so it's kind of like doubles as a seat and a cat scratching stand. And it's really lovely. I love it. It's a nice size, and it's great extra seat for when guests come around. And then next to that, in this little alcove, we have this chest of drawers. On top of here is the skincare that I use on a daily basis and that won't fit in my drawer. Here is my homemade facial oil, which I have a recipe for on my blog, which I'll link down below. Also my homemade toner, which I believe I made a recipe for as well, which I'll link down below. Homemade like aromatherapy rollerball, some rosehip oil, which I always have on the go. It's one of my favorite oils ever. And then I have this air plant and a quartz crystal. This big vintage mirror was a gift from my brother years and years ago. I think it was for I'm pretty sure it was my 18th birthday that he got that for me. And it just works so well on top of this dresser. The style goes really well, and so I love it up there, and it reflects the light from the window into the room. And here I have my favorite picture of me and my partner. This is in Brighton last February, I think, so just over a year ago. In Brighton, which is our favourite place to visit together. And then I have this water mister that I mist the plants with because they like a really moist atmosphere, and I just think that that's really cool, so I like to have it on display. I think it looks really nice and rustic. I really enjoy industrial looking things, so I love to have that there, and it's like a juxtaposition against like the vintage, delicate look of the mirror. That's just my style. I like juxtapositions. And then this is a orchid that someone threw out. I found it next to some bins outside the block of flats. The flower fell off. I'm guessing that's why they threw it away, but I actually really like the fauna and I'm trying to revive her. I didn't want her to end up in the dump and just die, so I took her home, and I am trying to, I don't know if she's gonna flower again, but I really like her leaves anyway. And then here is my Mind Your Own Business, that is actually what it's called, who actually died over the Christmas period, but I've revived her and she's looking healthier and stronger than ever. I keep her here next to the window and I lightly mist her every day, and it seems to be working. She's looking very happy, healthy and content, so I'm pleased about that. And then behind here is my, oh, that's just the tag from the, I need to take that off. Here is my makeup bag with my, like, the makeup that I'll wear if I wear makeup, which isn't that much anymore, but when I do, that's the makeup that I like to wear. Then there's this pine cone that I found in the park that reminded me of my childhood, because I grew up in the wilderness on a mountain, and I haven't really seen that many pine cones in England, not this size, before, so I saw it and it reminded me of growing up, so I took it home. And I used to have a massive collection of vintage tins. I have since given most of them to charity. This is one that I've kept. It's an old Coleman's mustard tin that I keep some tea lights in and some matches. And then above this chest of drawers is where we keep our clock. And then up there is a little hand ceramic that I got from Israel. To the left of the drawers is this little seating area. This peace lily, I found it, or my partner actually found it on the street along with the basket, brought that home. We have like a plant sanctuary here for like plants that people have thrown out. And we've got this plant on top of this pallet that I found. I really like it because it's not the normal pallet size, it's a little bit smaller and chunkier. So I thought I'd bring it home as a little seating area that I've put a couple of pillows on top of. So now this is like a seat. This is where we pull out the projector screen and we'll watch TV against this wall. But when we're not using that, which is most of the time, it is this little nice seating area. And then next to this palette is my wardrobe, which you would have seen before if you saw my wardrobe tour video. This right side is my side, this is my partner's side. And then to the side here is like this really awkward bit as the wall like indents against this chimney breast. And we thought it was going to be really awkward, but actually it's turned out to be really handy. So in there you'll see that big metal pole, that's our projector screen all packed up, and on the weekend when we're going to watch a movie on a Sunday, we will pull that out and watch TV on it, but otherwise we don't want this big like ugly projector in the way, so we'll just like fold it up. It takes 30 seconds and we'll just put it in there. That's also where I keep my filming tripod and my yoga block and yoga mat. So actually this little alcove, it was irritating at first, but it's actually turned out really well, and a nice little hidden storage for a couple of ugly bits. Leaning against the wardrobe I have this full-length mirror. This is where we can check out outfits, and sometimes I'll post outfits of the day on Instagram. Hello! And down here I have a doorstop that I have had since I was a baby. This is one of the very few things I still have from my childhood. It's a doorstop from when I was growing up with some animals on it, and I love it anyway, but also has some sentimental value to me. And then in the center of the room we have the table, which I found on the street, and I stripped it down because it was like a horrible dark wood. I stripped it down and painted it white. And I didn't want to add a sealant to it because I kind of like that it's going to distress over time, and it's got some scratches and markings on it. And because it's white, it takes up visually a lot less space in the room, and because it's got glass tops, it looks almost as if it's like not even there. I mean, obviously it's there, but if it was dark wood and if it didn't have the glass in it, it would be much more of an intrusive object. But I really love that it's not, and you can see through it and lay some things on the bottom and see them. So this is where I sit on the sofa and do a lot of blogging and do my video editing, and so I will have my laptop in this room most of the time. And then when those are gone, you can see straight through the table. This is where I have a candle in this like vintage cup that I got as a Christmas present. And then there's this Fortnum & Mason tin that my mom had for many, many years and she was throwing out. And I just love the colour of it. It's like a Tiffany blue, and I keep some tea lights in there. And then going over here, this is where I keep this little wicker basket filled with photographs that I've taken from my Polaroid camera. So when people come round, they can take a snap of themselves and throw it in here, write the date on it. And then I keep the Polaroid camera and a pen next to it. And then a couple of flick-through books. So I am currently flicking through How Not to Die, which is a fantastic book. I'm really enjoying it. It's quite hefty, but it's nice to just pick up and dive into every once in a while. And then this Dear Data book from when I took my partner to a design exhibition, and this was both of our favourite installment, and then I realised that they had a book about it, and so I bought that for his birthday, and that's a really nice book to just kind of flick through and get some creativity flowing, get a little bit of inspiration. And then on top of the table I have this plant. I actually have no idea what it's called. I call it the breath plant because it's so like light and airy, and when I have the windows open, the breeze comes through and it just like shakes so easily, and it looks like breath to me. So that's what I call it. I'm not actually sure what it's called, and it's in this pot that I got from a charity for I think around £1. I think it's really beautiful. I love the colour and the shape of it. And so that's what the dining room table looks like. Oh, I forgot to mention that I also have this string of pearls plant hanging by the window, which also isn't looking so well. I don't know, if you have any tips on how to take care of a string of pearls plant, please let me know, because I'm not sure what's wrong with her. I'm hanging her in the window to get as much light as possible. Then I also have this crystal hanging here, which when the sun comes through the window, it bounces little rainbows around the room that my cat likes to play with and chase. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little snoop around my living room. Here's just another quick overview. As you can see, it's probably not traditionally minimalist as a lot of people would think of it, but these are all the things that are adding value to my life still, and this is how I'm living in this room. I really enjoy a good snoop around people's homes, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video as well. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next week. Bye!